Thanks for staying with us through the break. Continuing again here now on Zoom. And of course, we're talking about Israel. Always on the cutting edge of world innovations, we like to highlight. And one organization that makes it their business to highlight that is, well, Startup Nation Central. We're joined now by Yariv Becher, the Vice President of Innovation and Diplomacy for Startup Nation Central. Thanks for being with us in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, to start at the real basic level, what does Startup Nation do to help the country's progress? What's your role?
Okay. So first, we need to explain Startup Nation Central is a non-government, non-profit, non-revenue organization fully funded by philanthropy. We do not receive any government money, and we do not charge for any of the services that we provide. So we're really objective with our mission to strengthen the Israeli ecosystem, the innovation ecosystem in Israel, helping the world connect to it, creating business opportunities.
Great. It's got a lot of attention. I mean, this is what the country is known for at this point, to be Startup Nation. Let's look at the big picture. I mean, the U.S. president just coming here right now. What kind of environment was he arriving into here? The Middle East at large, the way he looks at Israel. What did he find?
So I think that Biden came to Middle East that he hasn't seen in his previous visits. He has come to a region that now is Israel is more integrated. We have new partnerships that have been formed. And in our space in innovation, we see a lot of collaboration that are spurring with the UAE, with Bahrain, with Morocco. And actually, Startup Nation Central has been very active in promoting these partnerships and new initiatives.
I mean, this has really changed the game. I mean, just looking at 2 years ago to today, this is an entirely new, this isn't just nice agreements on paper or nice things being said at podiums by officials. There's real collaboration, development going on with those three countries you mentioned at this point.
Yes, definitely. So, of course, we have seen trade that has grown tremendously. With Morocco, it doubled. With the UAE, it has gone to figures that we haven't imagined before. And we see investments coming in, but even more importantly, we see Israeli companies that are active in these regions. They're going out there, they're establishing presence. And again, I think the interesting part of it is that really this innovation collaboration between the countries creates a sphere of real connectivity, and it's not just in the diplomatic level, it's not just defense cooperation. It is really creating a people-to-people engagement that helps the relationship sustain any external pressures that might come.
I mean, in a way, to look at your role, I mean, this is diplomacy. I mean, you're trying to raise awareness of basically the amazing innovation, brain power, society that Israel is. Sort of in a way marketing this outside the country, saying, hey, this is what's happening here. People are loving what they find, essentially. I'm talking people at large, the international community. And in the end, it's people-to-people connections. It's doing a lot for the state.
Yeah, it's even more than that. It's not just exposing and highlighting Israeli innovation. With innovation diplomacy at Startup Nation Central, it's a new pillar that we added to our activity, looking at innovation not just as an end, as something that we need to strengthen, but actually as an asset that we can leverage to create meaningful and tangible impact in the countries that we're working with, so they can understand what are the benefits of having the relationship with Israel. And they can see the fruits of the Abraham Accords, of having this connection, of working with Israel. It's not just highlighting Israeli innovation so everyone feels good about it, but it's actually putting it to work.
And the president now coming and going, do you think he achieved his main goals or accomplished a lot while he was on the ground here?
I think that the visit of President Biden actually helped move us forward. And you see how his messages have been accepted. And, while everyone was hoping that we'll have normalization with Saudi Arabia, it's probably, it's still a way to go. But I think that what we heard is very encouraging, and there are opportunities. And actually what we want to do is to use Israeli innovation as a way to accelerate the process, to perhaps help open the doors, to create a frictionless sphere that we can create collaboration that perhaps can lead the way to normalization later on. And of course, after that is done, like what we're doing with the UAE and Bahrain and Morocco, is really using innovation to make sure that the ties that are being created are strong and resilient.
I mean, at this point, the amount of, come back to the central term for it, innovation coming out of Israel, to the new Gulf allies, and the Saudis in particular, others likely elsewhere, it's just undeniable. I mean, am I wrong that they're just seeing what's happening here? They're seeing there's just far much more on that plus side of the chart than the minus side when it comes to opening relations with Israel at this point?
Yes, but it's not one-sided. It's not just Israeli innovation coming to solve the problems. I think there's a lot that we can contribute. There's a lot that we can get out of it. There are opportunities. First of all, there's a lot of all these countries have strategic plans to transform their economy, to transform their healthcare system. So they're very advanced in their thinking, and I think that there's a lot that we can contribute, but these are also opportunities for us to learn, perhaps to scale up over there, perhaps to open presence for Israeli companies to open a new region. So it's not one-sided.
Certainly not, and it's been remarkably friendly. And I know this, we use the term innovation pretty generally, but you mentioned this covers a wide scope of issues, areas, fields. Remarkable. Yariv Becher from Startup Nation Central. Thanks for being with us. Important initiative you're leading there. So good luck with it. Keep it going.
Thank you very much.
Hope to catch an update at some point down the road. So thanks for joining here.
Thank you.